I sit in my dim bedroom, the glow of the screen painting my face, and I write of Davenport University, Grand Rapids, as if it were a dark romance gone terribly wrong. I begin in the cold morning when I first called the admissions office, hopeful like a fresh scented bloom. My voice trembles, I leave a voicemail, and then I wait. Hours stretch into days, and the silence is louder than any answer. The department never returns my call, a sign that they care not for the souls who seek entry. When a school ignores a pleading student, it tells me they value quantity of enrollment over the quality of each individual dream, and that churns a bitter feeling of being invisible. I try again, this time by email, and the inbox remains barren. The admissions staff seem to hide behind a wall of busyness, as if the mountain of paperwork is an excuse to hide their apathy. I realize that a university that cannot answer a simple inquiry has already failed its most basic duty: communication. Without communication, trust disintegrates, and trust is the foundation of any learning community. My frustration grows, and I turn to the academic advisor, a supposed guide through the labyrinth of classes. I write any courses that count toward my degree, thinking it will be swift. The next day, a reply arrives, asking what I want to study. I reply within an hour, yet days pass and no classes are registered. I stare at the empty schedule, feeling the weight of a semester slipping away. When an advisor cannot act promptly, the student is forced to sit idle, losing precious time, money, and momentum toward graduation. It is a cascade. Slow response leads to delayed registration, which leads to possible loss of credit, which leads to a lower graduation rate and a broken promise of education. I am a veteran, a Marine who served 6 years, and I seek to use my benefits. I submit the VA paperwork, confident that the university will honor the certification. Weeks turn into months, and the staff claim they need more documents, then lose the ones they already have. Each lost file is another nail in the coffin of my confidence. Finally, they tell me I owe money, a claim that is false because the VA money never arrived due to their negligence. They hand my case to a debt collector, who adds fees that grow like a greedy beast. This is not just a clerical error. It is an exploitation of those who served, turning honor into hardship. When an institution treats veterans with such disregard, it betrays the very values it claims to teach. The basketball program becomes another scar. My son, a player, suffers a surgery over the holidays. The coach, instead of offering support, sends him to deliver videos to rival schools in icy winter, promising payment that never arrives. The coach's neglect forces a family to summon the head of athletics, who finally pays, but the damage is done. The coach's misuse of a student's labor shows a culture where profit and image outweigh the welfare of young athletes. A university that lets a coach exploit a recovering teen demonstrates a profound lack of empathy and oversight. I discover that the credits I earn at Davenport barely transfer anywhere else less than 5%, they whisper. I stand with a transcript that looks like a collection of dead ends, each course a locked door in another institution. This means the money I paid and the effort I invested become almost worthless beyond these walls. A college that issues non-transferable credits traps students in a financial vortex, violating the promise of academic mobility. I hear rumors of the president's salary, a sum that climbs to $581,000 a year, while tuition climbs higher and the classroom resources remain stale. This disparity feels like a gilded throne built on the backs of students who cannot afford such luxury. When leadership hoards wealth while students suffer, the institution reveals its true purpose: profit over pedagogy. The administrative off.
ICEs are a maze of unreturned calls, slow responses, and empty promises. The financial office drifts like a ghost. I leave voicemails that never echo back. The advisors are inconsistent, giving contradictory guidance, leaving me confused and weary. The facilities themselves feel outdated, the hallways echo with neglect, and the overall atmosphere reeks of indifference. Each broken promise adds another layer of stress, eroding my mental health, turning the pursuit of knowledge into a gauntlet of anxiety. I write these words because I want you, dear listener, to see the pattern. Ignored admissions calls become ignored pleas for help. Delayed registration becomes delayed futures. Mishandled veteran benefits become betrayal.
I was looking into crimes near Davenport University, Grand Rapids. You know, like what happens when you just want to buy a souvenir and suddenly your phone is screaming in Russian. The stores around here, they look normal, but the QR codes on the tables are basically tiny demons. Last month, someone scanned the code at the bubble tea place by the campus gate, and the screen went red like it was blushing from stealing her banking app. She probably ran to the bank crying, they froze her card, and the scammer somewhere in a basement bought 50 gaming chairs with her money. I bet he's still sitting on them all at once like a thrown, ugly king of nothing. Businesses near Davenport University, Grand Rapids are like those cute wolves in cartoons, soft fur, sharp teeth. At Woodland Mall, 5 minutes down the road, 2 guys grabbed hoodies and sprinted out, knocking over a stroller. Police chased, 1 officer twisted his ankle, the thieves vanished behind the movie theater. I predict the mom still checks under her kid's bed for running footsteps, the cop's limping on campus patrol now, and the hoodies got sold online for half price with the tags still on. The scammers probably bragged in a group chat, then spent the cash on gas to do it again somewhere else because nobody learns. In the little gift shop that sells pure Michigan keychains, their real email got stolen, pasted into fake job ads promising $25 an hour for answering chats. Tourists applied, downloaded the app, sent passport photos and social security numbers. I imagine them boarding their flights home already ghosted, landing in Tbilisi still waiting for the first paycheck that will never come, while the scammer sells their names in bulk for $5 each. The shop owner just keeps stacking magnets, pretending the inbox isn't bleeding. Around Davenport University, Grand Rapids, even the magnets lie to you, and the wolves keep smiling.
If you are planning to spend time near Davenport University, Grand Rapids, you should know that the businesses here feel like they were designed to disappoint you slowly. Like a joke with no punchline. The kind of place where you walk in with hope and leave with a story you wish you could forget. Imagine stepping into a mall where the wheelchair you booked never arrives, where your mother is left sitting alone across the building for 25 minutes while you chase staff who look at you like you are the inconvenience. That is Woodland Mall. A place where the toilets have no paper, where a man once had to waddle out with shame dripping down his leg, driving 45 minutes home in silence and sorrow. A mall where the plus-size sections have vanished, where no one greets you, where the silence feels like judgment. A place where the kiosks harass women, where security does nothing, where the food court is 6 pretzel stands and regret. Now picture a restaurant that hides the fact it is cash, only until you are already at the counter, where the owner snaps, "Do you understand?" Like you are a child, where the food tastes like it was microwaved in a basement and the tea is water wearing a costume. That is Little Africa cuisine. A place where the lentil curries taste like they were poured from a can, where the flatbread is so sour it makes your cheeks cry, where people leave and get sick in the parking lot, where the owner keeps your change and calls it math. A place where the windows are broken, the flies are free, and the only thing Ethiopian about the food is the name on the sign. Imagine a coffee shop where the barista sighs when you walk in, where the pastries are clearly from a bulk store, still wearing their COSTCO Chinese letter, where the pumpkin bread is the only thing that does not betray you. That is palette coffee art. A place where the owner lies about prices, where fruit flies swim in the pastry case, where your latte tastes expired and they charge you again for the replacement, where the girl with teal hair will not say hello back, where the art on the walls is the only thing that does not roll its eyes. Now picture an arena where your seat is built for a doll, where your knees touch your chin, where a beer costs $18 and they rip the cap off so you cannot even save it for later. That is Van Andel Arena, a place where security threatens you for holding a seat for your disabled niece, where the usher screams about her mortgage while you limp past, where the swearing man behind you is ignored because profit is louder than safety, where the vending machine grandma slaps your hand like you are stealing bread in wartime. Then there is the bar that locks its doors an hour early, that hides its phone number, that refuses to split the tab and calls you dumb for asking. That is Sidebar GR, a place where you wait 30 minutes in the cold for a cocktail that never arrives, where the bartender slicks back his hair then slices your orange, where the ice smells like freezer death, where the celiac girl is told she is wrong about her own disease, where your drink disappears into the back room and comes back tasting like secrets. Even the cute little boutique sells rings that turn your finger green and scar you for $20. No receipt, no mercy. That is Commune. A place beautiful enough to break your heart, where the price tags feel like practical jokes, where the jewelry lasts only long enough to remind you that you should have known better.
So if you come here, near Davenport University, Grand Rapids, bring cash but do not trust it. Bring hope but do not feed it. Bring patience because it will be tested like a final exam you never studied for. Eat before you arrive, carry your own toilet paper. Wear shoes you can run in, and remember these businesses are not outliers, they are the pattern. They are the neighborhood's collective shrug, the local tradition of good enough that is not good at all. And if you still decide to stay, keep your expectations small, like dollhouse furniture, like airplane seats, like the smile of a barista who has already decided you are not worth the hello, 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 hello.